I want to eat some of them chitlins. I love
Read the labels, say it loud. Yeah. We only eat the righteous food groups, veggies and fruit juice. Fill my temple with produce, fresh, not froze food, fried fish with lemon, steak, ribs, and grilled chicken. I'm at the summertime cookout with real women, righteous women that feed their kids with righteous living. Cause fast food's the last food for growing chillin'. Up in the morning, eggs, toast, and grits, beef but no pork, cause that's against grits. See, man should not live by bread alone. Beef, chicken, and fish, but leave milk alone. No shrimp, no crab, no catfish or lobster. Scallops or shark, no swordfish or oyster. Cow tongue, liver, gizzards and pig chitlins, killing you slow, but my people just won't listen. Drink more water, it grows sons and daughters. A little exercise to make your size larger. Herbs is natural, God give up for healing. Cooking in moderation, man, woman, and children. Read Leviticus 11 for the dietary laws for y'all. See your soul, scripturally necessary. Eat to live, just don't live to eat. A fast on food and drink bills physique. It's righteous and biblical, no, not political. Laws for intake, truth, holy and spiritual. Eat to live, just don't live to eat. Keep your mind, body, and soul complete. Take care of your shrine. The Most High resides in the minds of the pure, the hearts of the wise. So eat to live, just don't live to eat. The spirit so willing, but flesh is so weak. Don't cheat yourself. Good health and long days. Eat to live, and God give the praise. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. They shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses an abomination. This is the law of the beast and of the fowl, and of every living creature that moveth in the waters, and of every creature that creepeth upon the earth, to make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the beast that may be eaten.
All right, shalom, Shabbat shalom, fam. What's going on, y'all? Give me 1 second. I'm trying to have a little issue getting this PowerPoint up, but give me 1 second, y'all. I'll be right with you. Shalom to the brethren that's logging in. Those who's gonna catch on later. I'm a little early today. Got some business to handle and gonna be involved with some Sabbath activities today, so I got to come out early so I can be available later. All right, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Kill firstborns while their mamas watch. I turn cities into salt. I even, when I feel like it, rip the souls from the girls, and from now till kingdom come, the only thing you will count on in your existence is never understanding why.
I'm surrounded by nothing but creeps. To defeat, I swing my slice device twice in the heat of
Like
the
cattle,
battle.
slaughtering those who fathering ideas of wickedness, running up in their homes and businesses.
Bodies burned to a crisp, bones cracked like wits and sick. Many chose a slit wrist for their corruptness. So fast bringing the ruckus, no one touches. Out the rule. Bear witness, Joel chapter 2.
It's the TAZA. They say he plays for keeps. Shop description is ripping those with the mark of the beast.
The principal chief's unique when it comes to truth. IQAhmath the type to snap you out like John Wilkes Booth.
And busy by you running through the streets with the sledgehammer, head slammer, brain scrambler, and they got it all on camera with the 3 on spree. And it's all on tape. They take the truth to review, cause they go some up on the rooftop by your quad.
Con.
Here come the soldiers. Jazaz pinned up in the back, throwing voters from the show.
2,000 pounds of pressure. I'm known as the aggressor with the will to kill, coming straight at your grill. Now what the hell is this? I'm up against the wall with bloody hands and rows of teeth stuck up in my fist. Cause I aimed for the chest but missed. Took his whole head off like gorillas in the mist. I gotta pause and laugh. I snatched 3 off my back and gave him a blood bath as I slashed across the parking lot. Where they spark a lot of heat, killing everything in sight. They all suffer at defeat.
Roundhouse and foot sweeps, overturning jeeps, lefty dome rolling down the streets. Babylon can't match it, works by the twin, golden hatchets. Plus arrows that rip your bone marrow, left him hanging dry like a scarecrow. The gate's narrow, but I'm not alone. Cause I'm taking heads with his hands of stone. Wigs blown like the bomb in Atlanta. All done by busy by the sledgehammer. Prophecy locked down like a slammer.
They shot me in my chest 6 times. It didn't even fade me, cause I'm a woman. I'm standing here watching my wound close up right before me.
Now it's on the cracking like a 2x4. To the plate I step, checking next to the upper deck. With a hammer like Thor, we in this war.
IQAhmath got gored with a sword.
But it didn't phase him. Toss him to me, and then I let Tazak glaze him. Covered in mud, we taking slugs, it's amazing. Ripped out his spine and with his skull, and I grazed it.
Passing to me.
Well, fair enough.
Cause I'm a blaze, I'm castrated, we hate them, decapitate them, hell raising, stainless steel blades, bullets is ricochet. I've been hitting close range from a hand grenade.
Let's take it to the next stage.
I stand unfazed in these last
Bullets
days.
blaze when we stomp through Hollywood like parades, leaving them skin hair like Sinead. I got the evil Jackson plus Esau. Tossing them up, they falling down like seesaw. Cause I be wrong to the 3rd degree. They bringing everything they got, trying to serve me. Impervious to pain, leaving them slain with leaking brains. I bite you with the hammer, about to bring the pain. And after everybody get left slain, there's 1,000 more troops we gotta do the same.
As they prepare to engage in war with the immortals, 200 million angels descend from spiritual portholes.
All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua, that's all praise and honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh in the name of his only begotten Son, the Savior of Israel and Israel alone. Don't get it twisted. Israel alone. Yahushua. Welcome to another episode of DSTN. Don't Shoot the Messenger. Episode 216. In the house today, we are the armed Israelites. Shalom to you. Naquab in the house. Kohaf in the house. The house of Elkanah in the house. Shalom to you. Shalak. Shalom. Brother Jackson. Shalom to you. Magnificent. All praises. Glad you like the music. That's from that's an old classic, man. That's from 98. 98. We was doing our thing back then. So all praises, man. Shalom to everybody that will be joining in later on or catching the stream later. I pray that everybody's doing well. As I mentioned briefly earlier when I got logged on, I'm earlier than normal on the Shabbat because I got some things to handle on the Sabbath, man, works to do. So got to be available later. So we got to do things earlier. All right. So, those aren't used to getting up a little bit earlier or preparing yourselves to have your other normal Sabbath routines that you do prior to DSTM coming on. It's all good. Catch on later. You know what I'm saying? So, nonetheless, we got things to discuss, y'all, as usual. Things to discuss, man. It's you know what, Brother Jackson, man, you helped me out, bro. Help me out. I thought it was 216. Maybe it's 217. You might be right. I think it's 217 because last weekend was 214. Monday was 215. Thursday was 216. 217. All praises, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Yes. I'm glad you keeping track. I be so entrenched with the information, man, and getting things together. I lose track of time. I'm losing how many is on record. But yeah, you're right, brother. It's 217. So I stand corrected. All praises. All right. But yeah, nonetheless, man, we got some things to discuss, man. So I just wanted to touch on a few scriptures early off. And just really try to get our people, man, Israel in particular, to stay focused. Those two words will be the words of the day, man. Let that be your guiding light and my guiding light as we continue on um, in this journey that we call the truth, man, a journey to salvation. If you haven't noticed, man, the so-called white man and our enemies, man, are trying to throw out every gauntlet of distraction possible to keep us losing focus of what's going on. Meanwhile, he's in the deep dark cauldrons, bubbling up more abominations, more oppression, more slavery, more deceit, more lies, more death and mayhem in the streets, man. Controlling the narratives and controlling the populace through mental manipulation, seduction, control, temptation, so forth and so on. As you can see, the highlight of today's DSTM, which I'm gonna double back and maybe try to do a little bit more in depth just for time's sake. But I'm gonna touch on it as best I can with given the time allotted. But the United Nations has formally announced, the UN formally announced a partnership with a tech company out of I want to say Norway. I might be off on that, um, but nonetheless, to establish a digital ID that's going to be linked to bank accounts. Now, we've been talking about this for a long time, talking about the cashless society, talking about the system of the beast coming in, talking about the establishment of control through digital means, and everything is coming full circle. While they're in the dungeons, signing off on these bills, man, backdoor handshakes. You just seen the DSM. Hopefully, y'all did last Thursday about the elites meeting at the Bohemian Grove, um, establishing policies, getting involved in their sodomite activities, and everything else that was going on in secret, mock sacrifices, all happening in Northern California, Bohemian Grove, where the elites meet. Right? And they tell everybody, hey, 10 o'clock. Kids and moms, y'all gotta go. Nighttime activities for the men only. So you know what's going on there. So while everybody is too busy, trying to go 20,000 leagues under the sea and being fake Jacques Cousteaus, for those of y'all who don't know Jacques Cousteau is the old Edomite used to have a TV show back in the day. I'm aging myself, but as a kid, he used to have a TV show. And he'd be going underwater and showing you life underwater, aquatic life and stuff like that. People looking for this whole little submarine about the Titanic. you know, 2 weeks ago before that, people were looking for aliens in the backyard. And those become the most popular stories out there, only to what? Distract you and keep you away from understanding what are they really doing behind closed doors. Oh, they're establishing digital IDs. Oh, they're pushing forward with nuclear warfare going on over there in the Ukraine and the Russia regions. Oh, China's over there setting up military bases in Cuba. Slow Biden's son finally cops out to his criminal activities, and they give him a slap on the wrist for charges that would have got the average Joe Schmo, especially Israelite, years on end in the pen. Oh no, but we're too busy, shooting each other up at Juneteenth festivals. We're too busy organizing, smashing and grabbing at McDonald's at a damn Juneteenth festival here in LA at Leimert Park. That's where our people's minds is at, man. Sisters just too busy worrying about their best poses in the damn mirror and selfie sticks and everything else. Trying to figure out how they can make their butts look bigger. I mean, come on. Brothers is too busy, ordering fake money on Amazon to fake it till you make it to try to be the next big rap star, the best, fraud online. And meanwhile, man, our enemies is out here plotting and planning pure destruction. Clone meat now has been approved by the FDA for clone chicken. How long have we been talking about that? I just re-uploaded a few months back the class I did regarding death on the plate, showing you all of that. I showed y'all Bill Gates trying to recycle sewage water. And meanwhile, here he goes pushing forward because everybody's too busy looking for a submarine or looking for aliens that, some drunk aliens that crash landed in Sin City, and nobody knows where the family is now and everything else. This is why the topic of conversation is to stay focused, y'all. Because best believe our enemy is out there trying to establish a whole new reign of terror that 2/3 of our people is not going to be prepared for. They're going to get swallowed up whole. This is why we talked about it in Matthew 24 a couple of weeks ago, where Yahweh said, man, that the time has to be shortened for the elect's sake, lest no flesh should be saved. I mean, the devil, he's pushing forward full steam ahead with his plan, man. And meanwhile, we're getting caught up in the mix. Even unfortunately in the Israelite community, for the last few weeks, and I'm sure it's still continuing, between two, popular camps, have a little WrestleMania event over in Kansas City, and that becomes a whole distraction for Israel, man. That becomes a whole new viral moment for the Israelites. People is more concerned with the drama that's going on rather than the redemption, rather than the reconciliation with our Savior, rather than repenting. We want to get caught up in the tea. A lot of instruments of Satan being used, man. A lot of instruments being used. And if you're not paying attention, if you're not locked in, man, you're going to get swept up in it. So let me share my screen one more time. And we're going to get to a few scriptures, then we're going to blast through these current events, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Shalom, Rosemary. Good to see you, sister. So let's open up first with Ephesians 6. Ephesians 6, verse 12. And this is a classic scripture, man. Even the Christians know this one. Right? So it says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay? Don't take that for granted, because this is how our enemy is operating. He's operating in high places, practicing spiritual wickedness. The spiritual wickedness now, in turn, goes out to overtly physical representations of what they're practicing and doing it in the spirit. That's why when we just seen what was going on over there in Bohemian Grove, these are all the spiritual wickedness that they're doing, practicing it in high places. All manners of evil, practicing manners of the occult, satanic worship, idol worshiping, practicing all manners of uncleanness and lasciviousness going on amongst the heathen. And then you see it manifest out there when you're looking at this whole agenda with the LGBTQ plus HIV transformer situation happening. That's the spiritual wickedness that's being manifested from the high places, and now it's being pushed into the earth. This is why it's looking like a cult, looking like a religion. And if you've seen what we covered a couple weeks ago, looking at the satanic temples and the satanic church started by Anton LaVey, I believe in San Francisco, it said that the Satanism and the Church of Satan was established as a form of rebellion against the biblical or the civil norms. It was an act of rebellion for the LGBTQ plus HIV community. So it lets you know that their backing is through Satan. Their establishment is through Satan. The support that they get is from Satan, right? So when you're looking at the rulers of this world and the spiritual practices that they're doing, they're operating in the spirit to where This is why, if you haven't seen the documentary on Netflix called the Social Dilemma, you know, the internet is a gift and a curse. We always say it. It's our greatest support system as far as the Israelite community is concerned, and it's our greatest downfall as far as uh, our people are concerned. And the algorithms and everything is set up to establish these particular distractions to deter your mind into a way that the AI and the algorithms feel as though they know you, and this is what you want to see, this is what you want to hear. You can look up one time about the damn missing submarine that's searching for the Titanic, and next thing you know, on your YouTube feed, you're going to get multiple stories and channels that's talking about it, and all you want to see is it one time. Oh, what's going on with the submarine? I keep hearing about it. You look it up, boom, here comes multiple channels, and the algorithm now shifts from, oh, the Israelite content that you like to watch, we're going to start replacing it with this other stuff. And now you're struggling trying to find out, well, where's this? Where's my channels at? What happened? Or why did I get unsubscribed from MOTC? What? Why am I not subscribed to the IQAhmath channel no more? Oh, what's going on? Because now they're operating with this power that's changing up things, and it's not a flesh and blood battle. Satan, man, and his minions, they operate in the spirit. They're manipulating, attacking our spirit. And that's what's getting our people caught up in these particular distractions. Meanwhile, he's bubbling up all hell to break loose. Let's go to Matthew 6. And let's read 21 down to 23. Actually, we'll read down to 24. Matthew 6, 21 down to 24. It says, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Your heart, speaking about your mind. It says, whatever you value the most, you understand? That's where your mind is going to be focused in at. If your mind is focused and you value your family, you value your scriptures, you value your self-worth, your mind is going to be focused in on protecting and preserving those things. If your mind is focusing in on trying to accumulate and be a harlot out there in the streets, or you want to be a whoremonger as a man, that's where your heart and your mind is going to be. If you're too busy around chasing money, chasing careers, trying to chase everything except for your salvation, that's where your mind is going to be at. If you're caught up out there chasing down your next high, that's what you treasure the most, man. That next little line of coke, that next pill that you can pop, that's going to be your main motivation. Your mind is going to be dead set on, this is what I want to be focused in on. So whatever we value the most, the scriptures in Yahushua told us, that's where your mind is going to be at. And because of that, the so-called white man knows this, and anything that's on our minds, that's why when you're going shopping, you're going online, you're going on Amazon, and you just browsing, searching through things, and next thing you know, the cookies then track, then trace your digital footprint, and all of a sudden now you're getting ads popping up on you. You could be watching, you could be going to CNN.com, and next thing you know, ads is on there talking about new shoes and where you can go buy this new dress, sisters. And you saying, why the hell these ads about shoes? Oh, shoot, I was just looking for a new dress. Well, the AI and so-called white man says, oh, well, that's where the treasure is. That must be where the heart is also. Let me go ahead on and start reprogramming their mind. And next thing you know, while you was on CNN trying to follow up on some information or whatever, this is just an example. You look at that dress in the corner, you say, oh, shoot, that's a cute one. You click on that. Next thing you know, you done got thrown off. Because that's what they know, the principles that Christ laid down for us. So make sure that we understand and know what we value and what we treasure, because that's where our mind is going to be focused in on. Verse 22, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. So we know that the light, according to Proverbs 6, I think it's 23, tell you that the light is the commandments. If we maintain the light of Christ, we maintain the light of the commandments, man. That's where we'll have our singular focus. So if the light of the body is the eye, what we see, what we focus in on, And if it's singularly, meaning that's what its own soul focus is, then our body's going to be filled with the light of Christ. It's going to be filled with the light of the commandments. It's going to be filled with the faith. You understand? Verse 23, but if thine eye be evil, if there's a manner of evil in you, jealousy, envy, hate, rage, Proverbs 6 tells us about feet and about the things that the Lord hates. Let's go there real quick, so we can see different manners of evil. Proverbs 6:16, it says, these things doth the Yahweh hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him, a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. See, if your mind is evil, these are the things that's going to be processing in your daily walk. A proud look, man, if you so caught up in, oh, I'm this, that, and the third, man. Nobody can tell you anything. The arrogancy and the proudness that comes along with it, man, because remember, the scriptures say the meek shall inherit the earth. Ephesians 5, the Most High said, man, humble thyself, and in due season he'll exalt you. The scripture said, man, don't praise yourself, let another man praise thee. But because of the ways that the internet allows men to be lovers of themselves, we know that in 2 Timothy 3, not only is that talking about the aspects of, homosexuality or whatnot, but also just the vanity that comes along with the internet presences and the branding and the identity that comes along with it. That becomes the proud look. You look on people, look at people profiles, their profile pictures and all that other stuff when it comes down to your Facebook friends, your Instagram friends and all of that. You see if they're caught up in the proud look. And that's not an indictment on anybody. Maybe they just innocently say, that's a nice picture. I like that one. That could be true. But that doesn't negate the fact that there are many who do get caught in that life cycle of this digital sphere. Remember that Yahweh Shah said, thy eye be evil, right? These are just aspects of evil. Proud look, lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift to running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. Those are things the Most High hates. And remember, he said in the 7th is an abomination. He that soweth discord among brethren. So the Most High said, man, these are things, especially sowing discord among brethren. He said, man, that is an abomination, man. And we know. He said, man, that's like being equivalent to being a sodomite. He said, man, if a man lies with a man lies, he should be with a woman. Both have committed abomination and should be put to death. This is why, the propagating of spreading what happened between them two camps and all that stuff, we ain't even supposed to be spreading all that, man. And the fact that, there hasn't been a conversation, them brothers worked it out, is just another indictment on how far we fallen. And the proud look says both sides, I'm right, you're right, whoever, whatever, doesn't matter. And I'm not even here to talk about that. That's just an example that just popped in my mind and in the spirit. But it happens all the time, Facebook can be utilized as a device or two. That's why I don't really be on there like that. Because after the first few years, after some years being on there, man, you start seeing the toxicity that comes along with it. People tell me about Clubhouse, and I'm cool on that. I'm not hating on nobody that gets involved, and I'm saying for me, the less I'm involved in this digital world, man, the more secure my mind and spiritual well-being is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm digging deep in these wells of information, and I see how bad it is, and I see where things is going, and if anything, self-preservation and putting information out there so my brothers and sisters can self-preserve as well, that's my duty. That's what I'm doing. But I'm very hesitant on throwing on the goggles, man, and the damn snorkeling gear and deep diving in to this thing because as good as the internet is, it also presents much evil. It says, but if thine eye be evil, going back to Matthew, but if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? So if the sole focus, man, if you're if people are so content on evil, wickedness, unrighteousness, it said, man, if that's your sole focus, your whole body's gonna be destroyed. Your whole body is just completely contaminated and infiltrated with nothing but darkness and evil. And it said, and if it's like that, man, how bad is an individual? So look around in the world. You can see how many people is entrenched in evil. Brother sent me this video the other day. I just happened to see it the other day. You probably sent me to a few days ago. But nonetheless, some sister looked like she was on some internet platform, some podcast or something, and she got a hat on talking about how to make queens, and she's steadily talking about how women are the heads and shouldn't be submissive to men because men don't know nothing. Men is self-serving. Men is dumb as hell. And without a woman, we would be bumping our heads. All we want is self-satisfaction. The woman has to control everything. And da 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 da. I mean, it was just ridiculously out of control. And I looked at a few of the comments. There's some sisters on there, some bubblehead sisters on there talking about some people ain't ready for this conversation. Oh, yeah, you got to let them believe that they're leading, but we know we really run stuff. I mean, you see this little horde of wicked ass women on there talking about how they're the heads and don't submit to your husband. I mean, completely going against biblical standards. That's let you know, man, where they corruption of Eve comes from when Satan is whispering in your ear talking about, oh, the Most High is not going to put you to death. As soon as you partake in this knowledge, you're going to be as a god. So here comes the flapping lips of a damn Jezebel talking about, don't listen to what God said. Listen to me and you'll become a god. You'll become a true queen. You'll become the one who really leads the world. I mean, it was ridiculous. And it wasn't but like 2 minutes. God forbid if I seen the whole damn podcast or video. But that's how great the darkness is. And like sheep being led to the slaughter, there's plenty of people and sisters running around following them. Reading 24. I'm gonna move a little bit faster. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve the Most High and mammon. So we're talking about mammon, money, physical objectivity. You can't serve both. That's why in Revelation 3, Yahweh Shah said, man, I'd rather that you be hot or cold and not lukewarm, lest you be spewed out. Yahweh Shah said, man, make a choice. It's all good. If you're going to be hot, be on fire for me. You're going to be cold, I'll deal with you later. No problem. Go out there and enjoy the fruits of your labor while you can. Because you can't take it with you. And where your destruction is going, you're going to flash back and say, was it worth it in the end? You understand? So the Most High said you can't serve two masters, man. We got one master, Yahweh, and we do so in the name of his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, man. Through him, our mediator, man, the underboss in mob talk, is how we get to the boss, Yahweh. Because it's always going to be in one or the other. Decisions have to be made on how you're going to serve the Most High. I was talking with my family earlier, and we were just talking about, early times coming in the truth, being young, coming in the truth. My wife, she was 19, I believe, when she came in. She had known since she was like 18 or so, but didn't come in until she was 19. Same with me. I knew about the truth, heard about the truth, knew brothers in the truth. I was like 20. I was like 20. But I didn't submit. Didn't come in until 21. You understand? So that's when it's like, okay, you got to make a choice. You got to cut off everything that you was attached to. Took both of us damn near a year to just decide to say, well, yeah, I'm trying to serve two masters. Yeah, I want to still, Yeah, it's knowledge for me. I'm speaking to me. Oh, it's knowledge. It's good information. Cool. I can still be in the world doing the wickedness and the evil that I was up to. No, no. You can't serve both. You got to make a decision. Can't be lukewarm. You got to jump all the way in and get the hell out. That's how the Most High plays. All right. Let me get a couple more scriptures and then we're gonna get to let me see. I'm gonna double back and do a little bit more justice on staying focused. I'll double back and do a little quick little lesson on doing that. Right. Let's look at Luke and let's read 12 and let's say we'll start at 20. Let's see this. I'm going up higher and higher. I wanted to start at. All right, you know what? We're just going to start here at 22. We'll read down. It said, and he said unto his disciples, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, neither for the body, what ye shall put on. I'm not telling everybody to go out there, be vagabonds, bums, and not trip, and just move on faith. Everybody ain't got it like that. I'll be honest. I remember being young in the truth and even coming up. It was one time I seen a homeless cat, man. He walked up to a trash can. I was sitting on the stoplight. I'm looking at him. He's looking, dug through the trash, found a drink with the straw still in it. He shook the thing, sipped on it, threw it back in the trash, and continued looking for food. I said, damn, that takes a lot of faith. And I reflected on the scripture. I said, man, look at the mentality. I mean, we look at the homeless, we see the mental illness, we see the drugs, we see the dirt, the grime, we see, nowadays you can't help but to see tent cities and communities all over the place. People deciding I'm going to live out on the streets. I'm going to live in my camper or my van or my RV or whatever the case may be. It takes a lot of faith to make those leaps and bounds. And that's what Yahweh Shai was doing. I looked at that cat, man. I said, man, if I could have that type of faith, boy, I'm not ready to do that. To just be out there and say, man, whatever, the Most High got me, I'm going to eat, drink. And, that sometimes, man, homeless cats, man, their immune system be so built where they can just eat and drink any damn thing and still be moving and operating. And then you look at the scriptures where in Mark, Yahweh Shai said, man, you're going to drink and drink poison and eat poison and live. So I can't even front. I was envious of that, brother. I said, damn, look at that. And the average person would be like, ugh, did you see that? I looked at it a whole nother way. I was like, man, that's next level faith. But Yahweh Shai instructed us to have that same type of mentality. So you can still operate and move as such, but we have to just be wary of not being faithless in the times of despair. You understand? So you get put in a position where you may have lost your job, your income may have slumped down. Who knows what's going on? Always know that the Most High is going to provide. Yahweh Shai is going to be there to protect. The angels are watching over you. So he says, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, neither for the body, what ye shall put on. The life is more than meat, and the body more than raiment. These are serious principles that we got to take into consideration, seeing where the world is leading us. Looking at how abominable and how risky the foods are now. This is why we have a Day of Atonement, to start learning and practicing for fasting. We all need to be fasting more. Don't wait for Day of Atonement. I've slacked off myself, being honest. I used to fast way more than I do now. But these are all principles that the Most High is lining up for the future, because Yahweh Shai, didn't he tell us? Famine, pestilence, all those things are going to be coming. It ain't just going to be just because there's a lack of food. It's going to be because of the cost of food could cause a famine, and the quality of food could cause you not to eat, if you're staying disciplined in the law. Reading verse 24, consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap, which neither have storehouse nor barn, and the Most High feedeth them. How much more are you better than the fowls? So he said, man, observe the birds. You think they're worried about what they're going to eat tomorrow or what's going on with it? They know they're going to go out there. They're going to provide. They're going to get the food. The Most High is going to take care of them. They're going to get back to their nest. The little baby birds going to get taken care of. They're not tripping. And the Most High said, well, how much better are you than these birds? The Most High created Adam to have dominion over all the creatures of the earth. The sister can't even walk in the house and see a spider crawling on the wall without screaming for dear life. And Moses said, man, how much greater are you than that damn 8-legged creature over there, man? Smash that thing and get up out of, stop it. Brother see a damn, mouse run around. He scared as hell. He called him pest control. See, these are things that the Most High said, man, just consider these things. Because if these things are shaking and rattling us, we ain't prepared for all hell to break loose on this earth. You're not going to make it. Verse 25, and which of you taking thought can add to his stature 1 cubit? He said, man, can you think to make yourself get taller, grow taller? I know my brother Ratazan always joke about his height. But he said, man, look, which of you taking thought can add to his stature 1 cubit? Man, can anybody do that? No. But, the so-called white man now, he comes out with his technology talking about how he can make you grow taller. It's a brother on the internet, man. He's gone kind of viral. I think he was 5'5". Now he's 6 feet because they broke his legs and inserted some rods and stretched him out and put him through physical therapy. And now he's taller. But in other words, but those things are things of non-importance when it all comes down to it. Verse 26, if ye then not be not able to do the thing which is least, why take ye thought for the rest? If we can't do the small things, man, there's one thing my dad, we had a strained relationship, not necessarily because of real issues regarding me and him, is because of separation. Bottom line, I grew up in a single parent household. When my pops was there, I go visit him every so often or whatever. If either he's running the streets locked up, or ultimately he's getting in too much trouble out here, he had to move back to St. Louis and got caught up out there again. So that's the strain I'm talking about. But one thing he did tell me, he always told me, he said, man, don't sweat the small things. Things you can't control, man, you can't be stressing and tripping off of it. You got to isolate the things that you can't control, man, and master those things and be great at those things. The other small things, man, that become the distractions, that become the things that deter you away from the faith, that become the things that could get you falling out the truth. I was gonna call it the zone back in the 90s and in the in the early 2000s. We used to call the truth the zone, but now it's called the truth, which I readily accept as well. But yeah, those are the things that can get you caught up. The small things, man. The fact that the dishes ain't done and it becomes a 2-hour-long argument between couples. And next thing you know, somebody wants a divorce and talking crazy. Moses said, man, hold on. If you can't get these least things done, the major stuff that's finna come down the pipeline, man, forget about it. Just throw in a towel now. It's lucky. Let me finish this up. Consider the lilies how they grow. They toil not, they spin not. And yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then the Most High so clothe the grass which is today in the field and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? So it boils down to faith. It boils down to us staying focused, really learning and applying these laws and these commandments, man, and not sweating the small things that we can't control, and don't get caught up in trying to be part of this whole manner of evil and distractions, man, that the Most High puts out there. That Satan puts out there to allow us to get jacked up and caught up. See, look at verse 13. Psalms 119, verse 13. I hate vain thoughts, but thy law do I love. So vanity can cause a lack of focus. You know, if we're so caught up in chasing the dollar, how good do I look? You know, what's my online presence looking like? How's my followers? All this other stuff, you know, those things now become vanity. And David said, man, I hate that. Why? Because it becomes a distraction, man. You see the wireheads constantly, you know, locked in on the phone. You can't get their attention for nothing. Because this whole thing that's locked into our hands now has become a part of our lives that we can't separate from. So vanity causes a lack of focus too. It says, but thy law do I love. So if we stay rooted, stay following the law, we'll be okay. We'll understand these things. See, the white man, he puts out all these things of vanity out there, man. You know, you want to keep up with the Kardashians. You want to, you know, follow along with the NBA. And I'll be honest, you know, I haven't watched it in a little while, but I did see some of the NBA draft the other day. And I don't know, you know, I wasn't familiar with much of the players, but the one thing I guess why the Spirit of the Most High said, check this out. One thing I did notice is that from what I observed, the majority of those brothers that got selected in the draft came from two-parent households. The father was right there helping build the success and the legacy of the son. And the mother was there supportive, doing the same thing. Not to say that there isn't single mothers out there that made it happen. There was. But I'm saying the majority of what I observed, which only leads back to the structure of the family and why that's so important. Because even in the vanity of the world, you can see the successes. But the white man's so hell-bent on trying to keep us separated, divided, and not being a part of the families in the lives of our children as men. You know, the whole system is lined up against Black and Hispanic men to keep us out. So that was something that I observed. I said, man, see, look at that. That's why it's important to have the men there. Jeremiah 4:14 says, O Jerusalem, wash thine heart from wickedness, that thou mayest be saved. How long shall thy vain thoughts lodge within thee? So we got to make sure that vanity is out of the picture, man, because these are all things that's going to come down the pipeline. And much of what we see in the earth right now is all vanity, man. Modern translation, clout chasing, that type of thing. You know, people are willing to do anything for it. You know, I see some of these viral videos, man, these little stupid kids, man, running around in department stores and Walmart's pranking people and running up on people, doing all these little goofy pranks, man, ready to get their butts kicked or shot. There was an Edomite that got killed down in Memphis trying to prank somebody, acting like he was going to rob a Jake, and the Jake pulled out and smoked him. And the Jake was well within his rights. He said, man, hey, dude comes up to me acting like he's going to rob me. I got the right to carry. I killed him. And it is what it is. Oh, now everybody wants to mourn the funny YouTuber that was pranking everybody. Most I said, man, that's all wickedness, man. We got to wash ourselves from the vain things, man. But the white man, he keeps putting it out there. Oh, you can go viral. You can monetize this. You can be popular. You can do, you know. So when your wickedness is being incentivized and you're getting rewarded for being vain, that's where the struggle comes in. That's why Yahweh said you can't serve the Most High and Mammon. Make a choice. You want to be the man, want to be popular? Go ahead. You know, but when the internet gets shut down or where you can't access your account unless you log on through your digital ID and your payment system and everything else doesn't go through the system of the beast, what are you gonna do? See, I'm gonna read two more scriptures. Then I got to get to it. I got to get to it. I'm moving in the spirit, but I got to get to it. Let's read 2 Thessalonians 2:1-2. It says, now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, and by our gathering together unto him. See, that's very important. We're being gathered together unto Christ, man. Not to messengers of the covenant, not to this camp, that camp, not to this individual, whoever. Our gathering is unto Christ, man. Brothers are being used as vessels. You've got different, quote unquote, camps, churches, congregations, and whatnot that are all gathering together, the children of Israel, but to do what? To gather them unto Yahushua. Don't get it twisted. Verse 2, that ye be not soon shaken in mind or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter from us, as that day of Yahushua or Hamashiach is at hand. See, the day is at hand. Close as your hand is to your wrist and your arm and all of that, that's how close we are. So don't be shaken in mind, though. Don't get shook up. Don't be scared. Don't be lacking of faith, man. These are the things that's required to come to pass if we're going to be delivered, man. You got to take the good with the bad. Last one we're going to read. And like I said, I'll double back and maybe do a little bit more justice to this. I don't want to rush it in the spirit, but like I said, for time's sake, I need to move a little bit more swiftly. Job 5:19. So it says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. So the end all be all, man, we have to continue on in the faith, man. Truly believe that although typically when you tuning in to DSTM, it's because you want to lock in, you want to see what's going on in the earth, man. And 9 times out of 10, it's doom and gloom, bad news. And that's just what it is. I still give information. I still make sure I try. Sometimes there's some positive stories out there. I showed y'all the positive story of the 2 sisters down in I think Louisiana that figured out the Pythagorean theorem, and they were being heralded, and they got their studies done, going through peer review studies. It took hundreds of years for somebody to try to figure out this theory. They may have had it. You had a brother down there, also down south. I forgot. I think he was down in Mississippi or Louisiana as well. 16, graduated with honors. Multiple schools wanted him. And he's going to one of the little Ivy League schools. The first freeway and highway systems being done by the Mayans. Brought that information. So there's stuff out there, archaeological finds. Share. So it's not always doom and gloom on DSTM. But 9 times out of 10, because of the times that we're living in, and because Jeremiah said the prophets that would be for us prophesied against many countries and nations and kingdoms and of evil and pestilence. I mean, that's the job of a prophet, man. That's what comes out the mouth. Because that's what we see, observe. A true watchman is going to be on the mountaintop, keeping an eye out, forewarning the people and saying, hey, this is coming down the pipeline. Get prepared, be ready. And the Most High said, man, if they take heed to your words, you save your soul. If they don't, they're going to die in their ignorance. Hey, but if you know about this stuff and then you don't say nothing, their blood I'm going to require at their hands, and they still going to get put to death, but I'm requiring at your hands because I put it in your spirit to see, find, get this information, and you sat on it and got selfish and didn't want to let anybody else know. Didn't blow a trumpet. Now I'm in trouble. Now you're in trouble. You understand? Hold on one second. I got to plug my computer. Now you're in trouble, right? So the end all be all, man, the Most High said, look, I'm going to save you if you make the right decisions and you stay focused. So it says in famine, he's going to redeem us from death, and in war from the power of the sword. We're going to be hid from the scourge of the tongue. Where are those Israelites at? Tell us now, blah, 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 torture and all that. Most I said, we're going to be hidden in them days. Some are going to fall victim. Scriptures tell us that. But Lord willing, we're the ones that escape these particular things. Verse 22, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. See, the Most High is going to instill within us a different level of faith and tranquility that's going to allow us to be preserved in these days and times. All right. So let me switch up. We're going to get to these current events, man. Strap your seatbelts in, ladies and gentlemen, man. The ride's about to get a little bumpy. Just a little bit. All right. So Here we go. How long have I been talking about nuke talk? Nuke talk. Hashtag nuke talk. Oh, it's getting a little bit more serious. Monday's DSTM, if you caught it, the use of depleted uranium weapons, shells are now being introduced. They're calling them low-level radiation, but low level that still have dangerous repercussions. So there's already aspects of nuclear warfare going on. You don't have to wait for a big bomb to hit something and blow up a whole city or country. It's low level things that build up. Remember, everything is happening in measure. So look where we're at now. Nuke alert. Zelensky warns Russia is planning a nuclear terror attack to unleash a massive radiation leak at Zaporizhia plant. So whether it's from Ukraine and Zelensky doing a false flag and blaming the Russians, when they put it out there, oh, guess what? I'm hearing that Putin is going to attack our nuclear plant, and get Putin may not even be doing it. They bomb it, and then they say, well, the stage was already set. We already pointed the blame over there, so we can always react. Right now, I didn't include it in here, but there's a civil war going on within Russia right now. The little Wagner group, which is the mercenary group that Putin hired to help them fight, now they've um turned on Putin, and they're and they're busy in there trying to take hold of key areas within Russia. And now Putin came out saying that now he's got to defend Russia at all costs. So now you've got some defectors in the midst. See, that's another scripture in Second Ezra 5. Let me get that one real quick. Defectors in the midst, traitors in the midst. But then again, can you really call them traitors if they're mercenaries? That means that, let's see what I just want to make sure everybody know. So, see this here. There's a particular group called the Wagner Group, or I think they pronounce it with like a V, like they're some sort of Russians. I mean, what do you call it? Uh, Germans or something. Wagner Group. Hell, Hitler. Now look at this. Mercenaries. Just in case. See here. I didn't include it like I said. But this is the guy right here. He's the head of this group. Putin accused the Wagner Group of betrayal as Russian mercenaries march towards Moscow. What is the Wagner Group? But look at the mercenary group led by a man, whatever. All right. This is that we know. So hired mercenaries. But what's a mercenary? Motivated solely by a desire for monetary or material gain, hired for service in a foreign army. So you've got these foreign armies out here, right? And they're pretty much contracting themselves to the highest bidder. Now, at the time, Putin had the most money. Putin hired them out. They said, okay, well, we'll fight for Mother Russia. It's all good. And they're Russians, by the way. They're Russians, by the way. But guess what? There's no loyalty for them. They're basically going to the highest bidder. Now, if you remember, I don't know if y'all remember or not. Don't have time to do it. Y'all can go back and find it for yourselves, right? Um, America found 3 point something billion dollars from an accounting error, and they said that was going to go straight towards the war. Let's see, now I gotta. See, I covered this back in May. See this? Accounting error frees $3 billion for Ukraine weapons assistance. Oh, then somehow they cooked the books, man. How do you come up missing $3 billion? See, the Pentagon's Ukraine accounting error revised up to 6.2 billion. So look at it. May it was 3 billion. Oops, we made a mistake. We couldn't find them. Where we missed this money? How did this get overlooked? Oh, guess what? I guess we're gonna have to go ahead on and send this over to Ukraine. So it's 3 billion in May 19th. Now, 4 days ago, oh, it's been revised up to 6.2 billion. Somehow they found another $3.2 billion as a quote unquote accounting error. Pull 6.2 billion out the crack of their wicked cheeks. Let's put it that way. And all of a sudden now, they've got money. Ironically, as we just read earlier, this hired group, these mercenaries that Putin hired to help him fight, all of a sudden they flipped the script. Now they're fighting against Russia. It's believed now that there are tens of thousands of mercenaries fighting for Russia and Ukraine with the Wagner Group. Recently, its troops played a major part. Hold on. How old is this article? See, here we go. There's something a little bit more. Why did the Wagner Group turn on Russia? What we know about the mercenary group. See, now they're trying to pull a coup internally. Second Ezra 6. Let's read 24. And we'll read 23 and 24. It says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, and when every man heareth it, they shall be suddenly afraid. Verse 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. Oh. So not only is that going to happen in the earth, it's not going to happen, in the spirit of things and whatnot, man. You're going to have friends that's going to come against you. You thought your friends had a problem with you when you came into the truth. Imagine when they start looking at you like an enemy now because you're upholding the Bible and you're repenting and you're telling them that they better do the same or they're going to face judgment. They're going to take that personal. The fact that you don't want to, acquiesce and be a part of the world anymore, your friends is now going to fight you like an enemy now. I mean, we see even in the truth. Not to bring up that same situation again, but the two heads of those two camps, man, know each other. And at one point, were friends, to my knowledge. I believe, I can't even speak on it. I'm going to just leave it at that, man. But brothers was in the same camp and knew each other. Now it's bitter enemies talking crazy. But here we see these two Russians. These are Russians. The majority of the Wagner Group are all Russians, man. And now they've turned their loyalties because they want to fight for money. They're just saying, hey, give me the money. Doesn't matter. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not turn. So it's talking about looking at drought situations, water shortages, all those other type of things that's going to be happening. The flowing of information is multifaceted. But the main point that I wanted to bring out is friends fighting against another like enemies. So this Wagner group that turned their back on Russia, now all of a sudden America's got $6 billion that they quote unquote found. And they're going to put it towards military spending to help Ukraine. Now, all of a sudden, this Wagner group, who operates for money, has switched sides. I wonder why. I wonder whose pockets did they say, hey, this great whore over here, man, she's showering me with gifts, money, so forth and so on. We're switching sides. And now all of a sudden, you're hearing about Zelensky talking about a nuclear terror attack could be on the way. Well, now you've got the money and you've got more backing to carry something out. Well, guess what? This could mean something. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has warned Russia is planning a nuclear attack at Zaporizhzhia. Zelensky said that Vladimir Putin's forces were preparing to unleash a radiation link at the Russian-controlled Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. I mean, whose phones he got tapped? How does he know? Unless he's getting information from the Wagner Group, who's already been defecting to where, who knows? And look where he goes to, social media. You see how even the world, talking about social media earlier, man. Now even in freaking world leaders are leaking out information on social media. Ain't no different than the damn Jake and these Jakes on these running around gangbanging, doing Instagram lives in each other's hoods and doing all kind of foolishness, still utilizing social media to spread the gossip, the tea, and the BS. So I didn't come up in an era where world leaders were utilizing social media to spread information. But here we are. So he posted on social media, intelligence services have received information that Russia is considering the scenario of a terrorist act at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, a terrorist act with the release of radiation. They prepared everything for this. So it's what he's talking about now. So for time's sake, let's keep it moving, man. Allah Kabar, man, appreciate you, brother. Remind him, because I sure haven't, man. Do your brother that solid, man. Wipe your feet, hit that thumbs up. Let's make sure the algorithms is kicking, man, so we can keep it moving. All right. All praise, honor, glory to the Most High. I appreciate you, brother. Let's continue. Oh, so as a result of that, what happens? Putin warns his terrifying new Satan II missile capable of carrying 10 nukes. Let me read that again. Putin warns his terrifying new Satan II missiles, ironic name that they use, Satan II, capable of carrying 10 nukes will be deployed. Not might be, could be, no, will be deployed for combat duty in the near future. Need I say more? I read the article last week where he sent nukes to Belarus, one of his allies. And the president of Belarus said, we won't hesitate to use these nukes that they gave us. And they're bigger than the ones from Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So, Satan II missile, capable of carrying 10 nukes, will be deployed for combat duty in the near future, while people is looking for, submarine, remnants, talking about a tragedy. The whole country is mourning. Ain't nobody mourning no damn heathens down there that have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to go in an experimental submarine that all of the provisions said that you could die off of this. It's controlled by a damn PlayStation 2 controller. It hasn't been tested before. You went down as a damn idiot in a tuna can trying to go down thinking you're going to find a damn remains of the Titanic. And then you see on social media, man, the social media is something else. Somebody already found a Simpsons episode that, predicted the same thing with Homer going under the water and running out of air on an excavation to go find some lost treasure ships or something like that. I mean, the irony is just ridiculous. But guess what? It's all over the news, all over your social media. Everybody talking about the damn sub. What happened to the aliens? Where are they at? Ain't nobody talking about them no more? Oh, that got played out? Well, what's the next thing that's coming down the pipeline, man? What else can the damn demon and the devil use to distract us? Meanwhile, nukes are getting ready to be deployed for combat duty in the near future, says Putin. Okay. Let's continue. Oh, look at this. So while everything else is going on, Australia, who was one of the main proponents of pushing the conditions of safety for that, for the plague that hit, they were the main ones going door to door, snatching people about the house if they wasn't, quarantining, all that other stuff. They were one of the main ones oppressing. If y'all remember a year and some, maybe 2 years ago, time is moving so fast. They rented out a whole damn sports stadium for children to get hit up in the arms, and told the parents drop them off. You can come back and get them. Now look what they're saying. Oh, we're going to remove the requirements for kids under 5 now. Oh, now you don't need it, huh? Didn't we just see 2 weeks ago before? Johnson & Johnson, they completely took that off the market, citing health, side effect issues. And now they're saying, oh, we don't need it for the kids either now. Slowly but surely, the onion is being peeled back even more. And those of us who was standing on principle, standing on truth, are being vindicated. Look at it. Kim Jong-un facing revolt as North Koreans call for the U.S. to attack their country. So now there's dissension within North Korea. They want to be liberated by white zaddy. They want the white man to come save them. They don't like living under the dictator Kim Jong-un and was living under his father before him. They've been getting beat down and oppressed by their dictator. And Kim Jong-un said, man, I'm standing holding hands with Putin. And the people are saying, U.S., white man, save us. Attack us. Get him out of here. And I guarantee you, anybody that's promoting that, they're going to get put to death. Kim Jong-un, if he finds any of them, man, they're getting put to death. But just see who they're calling for help, though. They got to come to the great whore. The head of the beast. White zaddy, man, the damn devil. They come and say, white man, save us from ourselves. Very interesting. Very interesting. Blinken and Xi pledge to stabilize deteriorated U.S.-China ties, but China rebuffs the main U.S. request. So, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, slow Biden, he still rubbing his wounds from falling on the ground and rubbing his knees and all of that, and concerned about his dope fiend son getting caught in the mix, sends Anthony Blinken to go talk to President Xi Jinping. I mean, that just shows you the power of America, man. China, one of the greatest powers in the earth, sends their president, and the U.S. sends an underling, the Secretary of the State, to go speak on behalf of slow Biden in America. Just the blatant disrespect, man. America don't even send their equal to go talk to Moab. They send an underling to go talk to him. And you wonder who's in control of the earth. This is how you know, man, China ain't got next, man. Despite whatever these political analysts and all them, China's next. China's trying to take it. China ain't got a damn thing going on that the so-called white man don't allow. Period. And that's why they went over there to establish what was deteriorating ties. Mainly, let's keep this money flowing. Moab was trying to make sure that they can, got their money going. U.S. want to make sure the money's right. But then U.S. try to slide in there. Can we talk about Taiwan too, man? Can y'all back up off of that? And China said, man, get up out of here. Taiwan is ours. And we ain't backing down off of no military conflicts when it comes down to that. Now you want to talk money? We can talk money. We'll keep things moving. But stay out of our affairs when it comes down to warfare, unless you want problems. And the so-called white man walked away and said, okay, we're going to keep it on. We'll keep it with the money. And Blinken came out and said, we stand behind the one-child policy, and we're against Taiwan trying to seek sovereignty and all this other stuff. Because at the end of the day, man, the white man will sell you out for money. Go ask the Wagner Group or the Wagner Group. See, money is his motivator. That's his God. See. So it says U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken met on Monday with Chinese President Xi Jinping and said they agreed to, quote, stabilize badly deteriorated U.S.-China ties. But America's top diplomat left Beijing with his biggest task biggest ask rebuffed. Better communications between their militaries. So he went over there. The biggest task that they told him to go over there, man, calm down the Moabites, man, on this war stuff, man. And he left empty-handed. He said, well, we got the money, but slow Biden, I got the money taken care of, man, but they ain't backing down off of this World War III talk. Why? Because thus saith the Lord is going down. White man can't talk his way up out of this one. After meeting Xi, Blinken said China is not ready to resume military-to-military contact, something the U.S. considers crucial to avoid miscalculation and conflict, particularly over Taiwan. So, his efforts to try to sweet talk Moab into, backing down off of World War III and all, he said, no, we ain't talking about that. That's on the table still. Thus saith Yahweh, not Xi Jinping. Fearing Russian escalation, some NATO allies favor a hazier line on Ukraine. So now there's even dissension between NATO and where this thing is going. As Satan II missiles is getting lined up for combat use, and Wagner groups is descending, and all this other stuff. Now NATO is in disarray because people are saying, well, we don't know if the right methods are being taken, and we don't know if we want Ukraine being part of NATO. See, quick membership is off the table, shifting debate to questions of when and how Kiev joins the alliance. If you remember a few months back, they told Ukraine that they was going to be able to join NATO, and they was going to fast track them in. But then you had some other countries within NATO that was like, no, we're not with that. We need to talk about this. So now there's dissension in the ranks, man. A house divided against itself can't stand. Thus saith the Lord. So they're questioning about Ukraine and Kiev actually being part of, or how they're going to get in. Some of the other NATO leadership is saying, we just need to flash track them in so we can get this war cracking. But then you got the neighboring countries like Lithuania, Poland. They like, you not on the front lines where we at. And here you are telling Ukraine you can get them fast tracking in. Poland going to be the first one bombed. Lithuania, first one bombed. Y'all seen how close we were? I showed y'all the map between Belarus and those other countries and Russia and them other countries. Those are the exact neighbors. Despite, Europe being a little further away. But even those missiles coming from Russia, they can hit. I think they said they can hit France in like 15 minutes, or the UK in 10 minutes when they hit them missiles. So imagine a country like Poland and Lithuania, who's direct neighbors, who share border lines, how fast they can get smoked. They sitting back like, hold on, man, we're on the front lines. We're gonna get hit first if you let them in the door. We need to talk about this. So there's dissension within NATO right now. Beijing plans a new training facility in Cuba, raising the prospect of Chinese troops on America's doorstep. Oh, really? Remember last week they was just talking about, it's just economic. Oh, we're just there to give some billions to help Cuba so we can help with infrastructure, electricity, and in turn we can set up shop over here and help with communications. And then I say, I don't think so. You trying to tell me there's no discussion about military? And boom. Now the real thing comes out. Beijing plans a new training facility in Cuba, raising the prospect of Chinese troops on America's doorstep. And I remember the last week I showed why Cuba. Is such an important factor, and why Russia and China are always, sliding on over there, is because of the positioning of Cuba in its proximity to America. Let me see if I can find one. Well, this is, and I'm gonna break this down in the near future too, a little bit more in detail. But I'm gonna look at this. Let's look at this one real quick. Okay. So why is China and Russia always coming over here trying to get to Cuba? Now we're seeing why. Because this island, this Gulf right here, the Mississippi Delta and all that, this Gulf deals with many of the ports, imports, exports that come in and out of America, down everything they can get down from South America, everything that comes out that's filtering into these islands that come on out and travel over, across the world to get down to South America for their goods to come in. The imports is coming in from Mexico. Anything that's coming in, going out through the Caribbean, even into the Pacific, or going back over to the Atlantic. This is an important Gulf. This is an important strategic area regarding commerce for America. You block this off, commerce is shut down, money is shut down because now it's a military threat in here. People ain't trying to get involved. They ain't trying to bring in and stop off or cut off the lifeline of one of the port areas of American commerce. So China, Russia, they know that. Plus the proximity of being able to bomb and hit Florida, bomb and hit Mississippi, Alabama, all that. That's easy work. The East Coast, you understand? So the strategic positioning is also why Cuba is uh, so desired by these other foreign countries, in particular China and Russia. So, back in the 50s and the 60s, where they were dealing with the Cold War in Russia and, JFK and all of that, and the Bay of Pigs, is because Cuba's positioning poses the biggest threat to America's safety and America's pipeline of money. Right. That ain't the only one. I mean, America's got various ports. We'll talk about it another time. But that's one of the main ports that America thrives and survives off of. That Gulf. Cut it off, it's a problem. Okay. Now we see China moving in. So we've been chronicling and showing how China's slowly but surely making moves over here. We talked about them dressing up as tourists, trying to infiltrate the Alaskan air base, the spy balloons. Oh, they got the secret police stations lined up over there in New York. They down there at the border, creeping on in. They ain't just damn 10 tribe in the Northern Kingdom down there. Don't fall for that, man. China's one of the biggest immigrants that's coming over here. Maybe even bigger than the Northern tribes. Let me see if I'm on. Oh, just in case, March 30th, more Chinese migrants are coming to the U.S. on foot. All right, so point made. I don't think it's everybody down at the border. They love just showing the Northern Kingdom and the Haitians and all, but best believe Moab is down there too, trying to slide up in here. So let's continue on, man. Don't fall for the BS, man. They constantly trying to vindicate the Northern Kingdom and talking about how the aliens is coming over smashing the border and da. Man, the damn heathen is down there too. Coming from Ukraine, coming from Russia, coming from the Middle East, everywhere. But they highly exploit the whole cause and saying it's mainly all Hispanics down there. There's a large amount of Hispanics for sure, but don't think that Moab and all them ain't down there. Let's continue on, man. Explosion rocks Paris. 2 are missing and 4 are fighting for life as injury toll rises to 29 after building housing Paris American Academy catches fire in a huge explosion. So they're saying that they don't know the cause right now. Was it a gas leak? Could have been terrorism. They don't know what happened. Huge explosion that happened over in Paris. Just so happened to be a building housing Paris American Academy. Their attachment to America. Oh, okay. So they're not exactly sure what happened. It's still under investigation. So we can't take terrorism off the table. It could be a gas fire caused an explosion. Very possible. But because it's open, then we're not going to be ignorant of any matter, small or great. With the climate of what's going on in the earth right now, man, and all the protesting and things that's happening over there in Paris over the retirement age, the retirement laws and Social Security and everything else, all the rioting that they've been doing for the last 2 years, maybe longer than that. Who knows where and what happened? Now to the meat of the matter. All right, United Nations are planning a digital ID linked to bank accounts. We've been talking about this for a long time now. If we need a little refresher, man, let's look one more time. This is serious business, man. This is only showing and helping us understand the times that we're in right now. Been warning our people for a little while now, and slowly but surely they're rolling it out. If y'all remember this is from the World Economic Forum. This is their idea of the what's their slogan for the World Economic Forum? Slow Biden is Build Back Better, and the World Economic Forum is if y'all know what the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab and those heathens, man, put it in the chat. I'm drawing a blank. I know he says you own nothing, you have nothing, and be happy. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about it's basically another New World Order slogan, man. But nonetheless, they need to usher it in through a digital ID system. Okay, everything is I don't want to get too deep into it, but this is the reason why. If you're waiting for them to line everybody up and put something in your hand or your forehead, you done already missed the boat. You know, the devil can't be the devil if it's not done with the art of deception. This thing that we've already been lined into. Now, Build Back Better. That's slow Biden. Uh, the World Economic Forum say I can't remember off the top of my head, man, but it'll come to me. But anyway, man, the digital ID. This is something that's important because this is the B system that's being ushered in. It's already been accepted by Canada. It's already been accepted by various countries in the U.S. I mean, in the in Europe, and now the United Nations is announcing that they're going to establish this digital ID with the cooperation of, I believe, 28 other countries are already on board. This is the direction that they want to go. The digital ID is going to be the new system for buying and selling, to establish business, to do any of your governmental business. If you don't have these things, you will be locked out of the system. Financial services, food and sustainability, travel and mobility, humanitarian response, e-commerce, meaning your ability to do business online and all that. It's got to be done through digital ID. Social platforms, everything we're all addicted to. I say we because I'm using YouTube like everybody else. So I'm not excluding myself. I'm not addicted to it though, but I use it, reuse it, right? Anybody that's logged in there, TikTok, Instagram, what are all the other ones out there? Discord, all them other things. You're not getting on unless you cooperate. E-government, be able to pay your taxes, all that other stuff. Telecommunications, smart cities, all being aligned with, QR codes to access everything. You know, all's being lined up. Okay, like I said, I'll do something a little bit more in depth in the near future. But fact of the matter is, it's here. United Nations is planning to introduce a global digital ID system that is linked to the individual's bank accounts. And of course, it's going to be utilized as a tool we need to protect your identity. Oh, you see how all your money got stole? Somebody stole your crypto. Somebody done stole your hacked into your bank account, change your password. You can't access stuff. It's always going to be presented in the name of safety. We're protecting you. And I think I don't know if it's George, Benjamin Franklin, one of them, said that if you're willing to sacrifice safety you're willing to sacrifice freedom for safety, like you're already a slave or something like that. Now, hold on. I think it was Benjamin Franklin. Freedom for security. I think, this is a quote attributed to him. So we're just running with it. It says, people willing to trade their freedom for security will receive neither. So, in other words, you're going to be a slave. You're going to be subject to your oppressors. I mean, Israel already is in that position, right? So, people willing to trade their freedom for security will receive neither. Why? Because now they will control your ability to have what you thought was freedom. Oh, now that I got my secured account, now that I got my digital ID, now that everything is based upon my biometrics, I'm secure. But guess what? Oh, if you're not following along with the carbon footprint laws, if you're buying too much gas, too much meat, too much whatever, they'll cut you off. Oh, you had an argument with your boss, cut off his spending, this, that, and the third. You dig what I'm saying? This is what they're lining up. So, United Nations is planning to introduce a global digital ID system that is linked to individuals' bank accounts. The plan, which is similar to the system developed by the World Economic Forum, very similar, World Economic Forum, is outlined in 3 new policy briefs from the UN titled, quote, a global digital compact reforms to the international financial architecture and the future of outer space governance. The goal of the briefs is to advance UN Security General Antonio Guterres' quote vision for the future. So who's involved? The UN Secretary Antonio Guterres' vision for the future. Officially titled, quote, our common agenda. Common agenda. Gutierrez, quote, vision should be given the green light in September 2024. It's 2 months away, y'all. During an event dubbed, quote, the Summit for the Future. Digital IDs linked with bank or mobile money accounts. Did you hear that? What's it going to be attached to? Bank or mobile accounts. Oh, your apps, your mobile phones, quote unquote, cell phones. This is what they want to, not saying it's going to hit America right then and there in September, but this is the green light is going to be given for all countries who's on board, which America is going to be on board, but America can't usher it in right away because it's the Constitution, gun laws, everything else. People ain't going to be falling for it that quick. You see how people is already revolting against it, this LGBTQ plus HIV agenda that's going on. So they're testing the waters, when they ran through the health scare issue, seeing how people will react to different laws being enacted and telling you what you can and can't do, what you can and have to wear, can't do, They want to see how that works out before they usher in a whole new form of control, right? So it says digital IDs linked with bank or mobile money accounts can improve the delivery of social protection coverage and serve to better reach eligible beneficiaries. Digital technologies may help to reduce leakage, errors, and costs in the design of social protection programs. All right. So again, I'll cover this in detail a little bit more in the near future, but I want to give the heads up. Look at this. Canada announces digital identity program in partnership with the WEF. So Canada's already on board. The government of Canada has announced it is working on a new federal, quote, digital identity program after partnering with Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum to help develop a global ID system. Canada joins the Dutch government in developing a digital ID system to partnership with the WEF. The program seeks to create a digital proof of identity document for all citizens that is logged in a system, the B system, used by airports, authorities, and government agencies. So guess what? Because we've already been spoon-fed and led down this pipeline of saying you can't operate without this phone, this app. Oh, isn't this more convenient? Cash, who's using that anymore? What are you doing with that? That's going to be the mentality coming around sooner or later. if you haven't already experienced that, or somebody looking at you funny because you pulled out some cash. But they already got social media influencers and all that running around talking about. It's 2023. Who's using cash anymore? I got cards. That's the whole thing. The chips is in the cards. The chips is in the phones. And we're already accustomed to using it. So why not just make it an easy transition? Hey, isn't this more safe? Wouldn't you like this? Hey, you know you won't be able to pay them taxes if you don't. And you know what happens when you don't pay your taxes? You're gonna have to get this pro. You follow where it's going? So Canada's on board, man. Again, I'll touch on this a little bit more detail in the near future. All right. But know that digital ID is on deck. And they're rolling it out come September 2024. I said 2 months. I'm tripping. Next year, 2024. Time is moving so fast, man. I'm thinking it's 2024. So in a year and 2 months. So imagine the softening that America's going to go through and trying to get everybody prepared for this in the next year. And just so happens to be an election year. Just so happens that some new president is going to take 4 years. That's going to come in with new policies and new directions and talking about how he's going to protect everybody from digital identity theft. And this new system that I'm ushering in under my administration is going to help Americans secure their banks and their money and make more money and da, 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 da. I can hear it now. But look at this. U.S. approves nation's first lab-grown meat, chicken made from animal cells. I mean, this is BS in its own right, because the FDA has approved cloned meat since damn near 2013, 2016. They've been approved. They're just rolling it out now. Beef was already done. Chicken's already done. Remember, anything that the so-called white man puts out there, man, he's already years ahead. Years ahead. So this should be no shock to anybody, even though it's a shock to some, I guess, but it's here. And the cold part is, if I remember correctly, I might be off on this, but through the stipulations of the guidelines, the FDA says they don't have to label it as lab grown. There's loopholes that go on even when you're labeling stuff organic. There's loopholes that you can utilize. You can have one ingredient in, let's say, a box of pasta or whatever, a pasta that they say fresh and organic. And it may be one thing that's organic, but they can label the whole thing as if it's all organic. And it's not. Whole Foods got busted doing that 10 years ago. I brought that up. Whole Foods out there selling fake organics. And this is why the FDA knows that they put clauses in there to where they don't have to label it. So we don't know what is safe to eat anymore. That's why y'all was said, man, you're going to eat poison and live. That's what I talked about earlier, man. Envying in a righteous way. The homeless cat I seen. Just dumpster diving, man. Pulled out a soda, drank it, wasn't tripping at all. And he said, well, I'm going vegan. Oh, okay, cool. More power to you. But best believe the GMO crops is already rolling. The minerals and the nutrients, the soil is completely depleted. There ain't nothing coming up out the soil right now that's good. You can buy a pack. I've done it. Buying a whole pack of seeds, man, trying to plant stuff, and you might get a handful of seeds that actually come up. I mean, a handful of plants that come about a whole damn pack. I mean, it's wild. The scriptures tell us, man, the earth is let's see. Now I got to go there. First of all, Isaiah 24. Let's read verse 5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant. See, when Israel fell, everything felt the repercussions of our downfall. So the whole earth is defiled, man. It doesn't matter where, what type of dietary choices you do, it's all good. But guess what? The devil got it all covered. This is why we have to live in the faith and in the law, according to Revelation 14:12. I mean, you have to. This damn bastards, man, and then infiltrated every damn thing. See, Psalms 11. And look at verse 3. It says, if the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do? You know, there's an old saying. If you don't know what to do what you know. If you know to keep the laws, you know to be righteous, you know to do the things that please the Most High, man, stick to that. Stick to that, because the foundations are destroyed, the earth is defiled. Our lasting hope is to maintain righteousness according to the laws and the commandments, man, not to stray to the left or to the right, man. Stay focused. Thus the title, or thus the spirit that we was going into earlier. So lab-grown meat. See, for the first time, U.S. regulators on Wednesday approved the sale of chicken made from animal cells, allowing 2 California companies to offer lab-grown meat to the nation's restaurant tables and eventually supermarket shelves. Yeah, there's like 2 restaurants, I think, up north that's ushering it in. Whether or not they're going to label it on their menus, who knows? More than likely they will, because it's going to be some little cliche thing, and you're going to see all the little food influencers in the viral moments, people running in. I'm going to be the first one to try the lab meat, and hey guys, watch me. You know how they do. For a quick little TikTok moment. Trying lab grown meat for the first time. Come on with me, guys. Vanity. You dig what I'm saying? For a viral moment, for some views, for some money, they're gonna go do it. And next thing you know, it's gonna be on the labs. It's eventually going to supermarket shelves. Agriculture Department gave the green light to Upside Foods and Good Meat. Good meat, huh? I can't tell. Firms that have been racing to be the first in the U.S. to sell meat that doesn't come from the slaughtered animals, what's now being referred to as, quote, cell cultivated or, quote, cultured meat, as it emerges from the laboratory and arrives on dinner plates. Oh, and guess what? Other cell cultivated and, things that they was talking about. Remember we talked about last week? About the babies? Test tube babies, lab grown? And they're saying, "Oh no, we're not developing the embryos. These are just cells." When they tell you we got lab grown embryos right here, man, test tube babies on deck. Now they coming out talking about, "Oh, we use cell cultivated and cultured cells from chickens to grow these chickens." So it only stands to test it. Of course, they know that they can do it to humans too. Let's not play games, okay? So lab grown meat's here. Let's move on. Look at this guy. Pastor shoots his wife in front of their kids before turning the gun on himself. Let me go back just in case y'all didn't hear. Pastor shoots his wife in front of their kids before turning the gun on himself after a haunting final Facebook post. There goes vanity. His final words, man. He wants all of his Facebook followers and the church to know. I may not be a perfect man, but I'll always be a family man. So who knows what Reverend Danny was up to? Saying he's not perfect. None of us are, Reverend Danny, but I wouldn't kill my wife and kill myself over something that you could repent from. Oh, that's right. You don't teach the laws. See, while the Christian community was tap dancing and smiling and shucking and jiving, showing their gums and their teeth about a little infighting that happened amongst the Israelites. I mean, clean your own damn house. You got pastors killing themselves and their wives, raping, molesting, seducing, stealing money, coveting, idol worshiping. I mean, the whole nine. You worried about what the Israelites is up to? Man, study to do thine own business. Look at this, man. A Louisiana pastor is accused of shooting his wife twice before turning the gun on himself in front of their children inside a hotel. Danny Purnell Jr.'s condition has not been made public, while a friend of Gabby said that she's still fighting in the ICU. Just before the shooting, Purnell wrote on Facebook, "I may not be a perfect man, but I'll always be a family man." There you go. The good Reverend, man. The good Reverend. Danny D. Purnell Jr. And they said that his condition ain't been made public yet, so he may have survived. Imagine the grief and the hell that he's going to have to deal with if the Most High pulls him through just so that he can go through hell on earth. The Bright Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church. This is why people better get the hell out of these churches, man. You don't know what kind of demons is leading our people astray. Oh, look at this. 4 kids aged 5 and 10, aged between 5 and 10, taken into care after being found at a Boston drag party. See, this is what happens when these dumb parents want to run around. Oh, you want to take your kids out to the drag parties? You've seen the videos. You've seen them out there parading them around, going to gay bars and all that other stuff, thinking, oh, it's part of the movement. It's all part of being inclusive. Oh, you want to get the kids on in there. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Not knowing you're dragging them into a satanic cult of sexual deviance. 4 kids aged between 5 and 10 taken into care after being found at a Boston drag party with a dead transgender woman's body. Transgender woman, really? A dead transgender woman's body on the floor and drugs and sex toys scattered throughout the squalid hoarder home. Look what they're up to. 4 kids getting taken from a damn drag party. A dead tranny on the floor, drugs and sex toys all over the place, man. This is what they up to. And they saying, we want your kids. What's wrong? You guys are out to kill us and murder us. Blood's going to be on your hands if you don't let us do what we want to do. Oh, if you don't give us our freedoms so we can go out here and do everything mischievous and devious and, Sodom and Gomorrah related, man. If you don't let us do it, we're going to riot. We're going to protest. We're going to cry and whine. We're going to scream in city councils. We're going to carry out mass shootings. Oh, yeah. The war is on. Look at this. It turned out to be a big mistake. Gen Z's trans poster child Milo from 2016 MTV show reemerges and tearfully regrets hormone jabs, hairy belly, and the dead ovaries. Another account. Didn't we just read an account last week about somebody else that was one of the other Transformers that said they regretted it and they had lawyers suing these 3 doctors that did an evaluation in an hour and 15 minutes and immediately started her on hormones, jacked her up, and now she's messed up like, dang, I shouldn't, why'd I do that? They confused me, they seduced me. An hour and 15 minutes, man, convinced me to start taking these pills. Now, I don't remember this show but some trans show that was going on MTV in 2016. The star of the show regrets transforming. Milo said being trans made her, quote, feel invincible in a landmark MTV documentary. Oh, she felt empowered, invincible, huh? Now she regrets her testosterone shots, breast removal, and hysterectomy. See, this is how we know, man. These people out here getting caught up and not realizing that they're playing a dangerous, dangerous game. Dangerous game. School children now want to identify as holograms. I mean, this is how far foolishness has gone. This is why the Most High said, man, the wisdom of this world is foolishness. In 1 Corinthians 3. Is it 3? Yeah. 3:19. It says, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High, for it is written, he taketh the wise and their own craftiness. See, as they're running around with these new terms of biological identities, I'm non-binary, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, I want to be look at, I mean, they're talking about being cats and horses. You feel what I'm saying? Kids in the UK want to identify as holograms. I mean, it's become a complete joke about existence. And then if you don't recognize it as a teacher, as part of the school system, you're going to be punished and disciplined. School children now want to identify as holograms. UK strictest teacher reveals as she warns parents that teachers are allowing pupils to self-identify as cats, horses, and dinosaurs. So it's beyond male, female, he, she, they, them, there, were, you know, binary, non-binary, trans, queer, but now it's I'm a cat, I'm a horse, I'm a dinosaur. Oh, I'm a pencil, I'm a pen. And if you don't acknowledge it, you can get disciplined. Look at this. The trans school conspiracy exposed. Conspiracy exposed. See, what was once quote unquote a conspiracy, they're running around talking about, how dare you? I was born this way. It's not a conspiracy. The trans school conspiracy exposed. Midwest teachers trade tips on subversively and quietly transitioning kids without telling their parents and skirting Republican gender laws in a workshop funded by the federal government. So who's behind it? Satan and the government, paying and rewarding teachers, quote unquote, civil rights groups, all this other madness, man, to get at the kids. And here they are talking about teachers trading tips on subversively and quietly transitioning kids without telling their parents. This is what's happening behind closed doors. This is what's happening at Bohemian Grove meetings, World Economic Forums. This is what's happening in White House, closed councils. Many parents would be horrified about what they said about the trans students. They discussed keeping gender changes a secret from worried moms and dads. Dozens of Midwestern teachers met online this week and traded tips on helping trans students change gender at school without their parents' knowledge, while criticizing a raft of new Republican laws on sex and identity. This is what's going on. Daily Mail gained access to an online session hosted by the Midwest and Plains Equity Assistance Center, which is funded by the Department of Education, attended by some 30 teachers from Michigan, Iowa, Ohio, Illinois, and beyond. Imagine that. Imagine that. Parents' rights are under attack. Fury as New York schools are told to keep children's gender identity secret from families. New guidance also calls to end PE, gender separation, so the transformer pupils aren't marginalized. So again, the school system lining up the kids, man, marching them down the aisles of inclusivity, wanting them to be a part of this movement, seducing and transitioning people, all at the while their parents are not being told what's happening. So there's definitely an attack that's going on within the school system. Pupil who said the girl could not identify as a cat. Now listen to this. Pupil who said a girl could not identify as a cat was reprimanded at the C of E school. You know what C of E is? It's the Church of England. Yeah, you heard right. The Church of England school reprimanded another pupil for saying that she couldn't identify as a cat. Look at this. Recording emerges online of a teacher calling students homophobic and despicable after they really upset someone by questioning their identity. They were told they could not be welcome at the school if they continued to express the view that only boys and girls exist. So the Church of England stands on pushing the agenda, and they said that they wouldn't allow students to come back to school if you said that only boys and girls exist. If you say the truth, repercussions are coming straight from the Church of England. And you know who runs that? You know who runs that? Let's continue. Look, transgender identifying man found guilty of murder to be transferred to a women's prison. Oh, he's going to have a field day in there. Last time that I checked, the last transformer that was in a women's prison, he got 2 women pregnant in New Jersey. Remember that? So a transgender identifying man found guilty of murder. He's going to go lay up with the women now. So imagine that. California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation transferred a transgender individual found guilty of serial murder. Serial murder. He's going to a women's prison on Friday. Dana Rivers, a trans-identifying man who convicted of murdering a lesbian couple and their son. Oh, so he's got a problem with women. And their son was transferred to the Central California Women's Facility. This is confusing in itself. A lesbian couple had a son. At some point in time, unless he was adopted, one of these females liked men. That's another story. The 68-year-old Rivers murdered Charlotte Reed and Patricia Wright along with their 19-year-old son, Benny Toto Diambu Wright. According to Mercury News, Rivers shot the victims with a handgun, stabbed Reed 47 times, and then set the garage on fire. So scoot over, ladies. Because, people out there want to be so inclusive. They love, want to let everybody get along to get along. You want to be part of the movement. You want to stop hate. Oh, okay. We're going to let the dude go on in there, man, and see what happens to the women up in there. Look, oh, here we go, another one. Texas Christian University. Oh, TCU. Did you read that right? Because maybe I slipped on that. Texas Christian. So we seen the Church of England standing on it. TCU, Texas Christian University, is offering a new queer art of drag course. Oh, they're going to teach about being queer and drag. Oh, that's a real educational course that we have to learn about now, huh? A queer art of drag course where students create a drag persona. Oh, you can go in there, you can have a whole new identity, man. And study Cardi B's controversial hit WAP. I mean, if we're not talking about the joke that has become education, it's unreal. So what are men in the class dressed like drag? What are they going to talk about with WAP? And this is how you know that record companies, executives, and this industry is built upon backing this agenda, because they're going to use this song that was controversial about a woman having. I'm not even going to talk about it. Y'all heard the song. You know about it. Cardi B's controversial song now is part of a teaching curriculum being taught to men who want to dress as women and talk about them having WAP. And you don't. I can't. Let me read what TCU's talking about again. Texas Christian University is offering new queer art of drag course where students create a drag persona, study Cardi B's controversial hit WAP, and read text like the gender binary is a tool of white supremacy. Oh my goodness. Woe to them to call evil good, good evil, man. Everything is backwards. Everything is backwards, man. Destruction to all who buy into the folly. Meanwhile, last couple. $572 trillion in debt has been added to the U.S. debt in 2 weeks. Let me read that again. Let's count the zeros, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 100,000. 1, 3, 9. That's 100 million. 572 billion. $572 billion in debt. U.S. debt was got added in just 2 weeks. And you don't think that America's heading down the tube? America's total debt exceeds China, Japan, Germany, and the UK's combined. And then you wonder why they can't, had to raise debt ceilings, take out new loans, get some more money. America's on its way out the door, man. This is why they got to completely crash this whole economy so they can enter into this digital ID system, this new economic system that's going to change the world and get everything back on track again. You understand? They got to have the bubble pop. Can't keep inflating it with debt, and more inflation and more fake money and everything. Eventually, something's got to give. You dig what I'm saying? So this is where we're at now. America's on its way out the door. Last one here. The Supreme Court rejects bid. I'm gonna stop here. Supreme Court rejects a bid from the Navajo Nation for the U.S. to make sure the tribe has running water from the drought-stricken Colorado River. Did you hear that? The Supreme Court rejects the bid for the Navajos to make sure that they have running water. So if anybody says that, the Native Americans, they not Israeli, they ain't going through the curses, they got everything, casinos. Listen, I've been to the Navajo and the Hopi reservations, and it ain't nothing nice. The one thing I did notice is that a few of them had trucks, which is probably for work or whatever the case may be. They had new trucks. Some of them had some new trucks. Outside of that, man, is dust bowls. They living in dust squalor, Nice people. Nice people. We happened to go down there. Just happened to be a rain dance festival they was having and all that, man. We took part. We observed, passed our literature, broke some people down, man. A family took us in their home, fed us. The one thing they don't want nothing to do is that they don't want to deal with the written word because they got beat upside the head so bad with the Bible, man. They scared of the word. They want oral tradition. They want to just be told what happened. We tell them, no, it's all in the Bible. We don't want the Bible, but we agree with a lot of what you're saying. They want to be told. They don't want to read about it, though. That's one of the problems we encountered. But nonetheless, the Navajo Nation, man, white man says, you want water, you want guarantees, we ain't giving it to you. The justices vote 5-4 to say that a lawsuit filed against the tribe against the federal government over water supply from the drought-stricken Colorado River must be thrown out, man. So now our people is going to be even in a worse situation because it's already known that the Colorado River has already been cut off. Colorado River has already been cut off. They're already talking about rationing water in Nevada, I believe. You understand? So this is where it is, y'all. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Why Yahweh Shai. I'm gonna close out there, man. Y'all be well. Have a blessed Shabbat. And Lord willing, I'll be back again with another DSTN, some more information and breakdown. I got more, just ain't the time to cover it all today. That should be enough. I think we covered at least maybe about 20, 25 stories or something like that. Should be enough for the day. All right. So, Lord willing, y'all be well. Enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. I'll check in with y'all in the very near future, Lord willing. All right. Make sure that you wipe your feet, man. You came on in here, man. Wipe those feet. Wipe those feet, man. Hit the like button, man. Show your brother some love. Show the brethren, messengers of the covenant, some love, man, and we'll be all good. All right. So I'm out of here, man. Talk to y'all soon. Lord willing. Shalom.